Right, yes.
Okay, Michelle Obama has been on The View multiple times, has she not?
Yes.
She was just on a few weeks ago.
Right.
But that was with her husband.
Yep.
Last spring, however, she made a solo stop on The View. So as I'm on the plane, I look at Pat and I said, you know what, Pat, when we get to Orlando, let's go find that episode and compare and contrast here. What are the first 10 questions that the ladies posed to both of the candidates' wives? Just the questions. Let's see if we can detect any discernible difference in the way that two ladies are treated here, because that should speak volumes. That should show us a little bit about
how fair they are, how non-biased they are.
How non-biased they are.
I mean, there's no better example, really, than comparing apples to apples. You have two. One is a first lady, the other is a potential first lady, and they've both been on the exact same show. And so how are they each treated?
Right. So let's look at the questions. Just the questions, not the answers. Let's look at the questions of the ladies on The View. First for Michelle Obama. Question number 1.
Talk about gardens and what we can do to be healthy and so forth. Here's your book. But we're going to talk about beautiful pictures and all about gardens and getting healthier and so on. However, yes, before we get to that, we have a few questions we'd like to ask you. Absolutely. In an interview just recently, you said, and I quote, that you are sometimes unsure if you are a classic first lady and if the things you do are okay. So why do you feel this way, and who is your idea of a classic first lady?
Oh, that's penetrating. That's
And you notice the difference here. First of all, it is, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I know, because I've been with the witch named Barbara Walters, and I stress the word witch. Number 2, here is the second question for Michelle Obama.
Okay, so you want to go all 10 with Michelle first?
You want to go A and B? We can do it. We can go.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to do it A, B, go first question to first question, or go through all 10. It might be better to go through all 10.
Yeah, let's go through all 10.
Yeah.
Let's get a sample of. Let's get a little sample here of Michelle Obama.
They just get tougher as we go.
Okay.
You have doubts? Do you say to yourself, maybe I've gone too far?
You know, it's not doubt.
Okay, that was question number 2. When you have, you're not this classic first lady. So do you have doubts? Is that what
maybe went too far? Okay. All right.
Here's question number 3.
So, I just kind of go with me.
You're very popular, too. So it's working. You're very popular.
You're very popular.
People are very kind.
Yeah.
People love you. Okay.
Yeah, people love you. You're very popular. Now, it's not it's technically not a question.
No, but it's
I guess
setting up the next question.
Okay, here's the next question.
Special position, and we've talked about this before, because your husband is our first black president. You are our first black first lady. Do you think in this campaign, which is getting fairly ugly, that racism is still going to be a part of it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is
I
racism
take
still...
somebody. I mean, how did she last? How did she last through this?
This is a withering inquisition. Withering.
It really is. Inquisition is the right word.
This country put him in office.
That's right.
In this country.
And they will again.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, because I have to follow up with that for a minute, which is that, he is under assault, personal attacks, which I'm personally offended by, and they upset me, and I hate it. But
you and Grandma. Hey, Mom.
Okay, so now Joy is telling her that her husband is under personal attacks, and that personally offends her.
Right.
That offends Joy.
She hates it. I want you to know that's not a question either.
Not a question.
Not a question.
I think there's one coming.
I wonder if you are as upset as people like me.
Are you as upset as I am?
When he's getting these attacks, they don't believe he was born here. All sorts of lies are out there. What do you do?
Oh, ouch. How do you answer a question like that?
That's tough. I hope they get to some easy questions like on gardening soon.
Number 6.
And that's what Barack models. His motto is, they go small, you go big. That means you always take the high ground, because you don't get lost in the chatter and the noise. And that's why he's been such a phenomenal president. He's
I was wondering.
Focused on getting this country back on track. And that's the president we need. I'm going to be working for that man.
Me too.
Just to show the joy of
the president does
of the interview
for the world. But I heard that he does something special for you at night. President Obama, your husband. Oh my God, he tucks you in at night.
You've got to be kidding me.
That is number 7.
All right.
He tucks you in at night.
We're up to number 8, counting all the way down to number 10. Here we go.
At 9 o'clock, I'm barely hanging in there. Malia now is staying up later than me doing homework. It's really pathetic.
About the election, how do you, because this is going to be, people say this will be the toughest election.
All right, so here comes, what's-her-face? Elizabeth Hasselbeck. So here's the conservative of the group. Surely this is going to be tough.
Yeah. Election. Obviously, there's a lot of political pressure, but as a family, how do you talk to the girls now? Because they're older. The perspective is probably a little different than it was 4 years ago. What do you say to them about practically what could not happen moving into November? Do you talk about it?
What do you talk to your kids about? Ooh, brutal.
Right. Okay, number 9.
Oh, golly. Yes.
The girls, they are amazing. They keep us grounded. Yeah.
Well, so you guys have been married 20 years.
20 years.
What's your secret?
We were told by the president.
Yeah, what did he say?
Well, he mentioned that you like to tease him. No, he didn't say much about gifts, but he said you liked
what he was going to get.
No, he didn't tell us. We did ask, though. That you tease him.
Oh, mercilessly.
Oh, yeah. Does he tease you?
No.
Oh, man.
Question number 9. Does he tease you?
Okay, now here's the last, and they saved the hardest question for last, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it's
brutal. Here it is. Brutal.
I want to ask you, because we do want to have time to talk about the gardens and so on, but there have been rumors that if the president is not reelected, or even in the future, that you might consider running for political office.
Those are other people's rumors.
Will you run? He doesn't. Will you, please? Could you run? And then we're going to come back with gardening questions. Okay. It was a brutal, withering interview. I don't know.
Vicious.
The weight loss that she must have experienced just through sweat on that one.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to the
Ann Romney yesterday.
The puff piece that is Ann Romney. Let's see if there's any difference.
So we've been talking primarily about the women.
Notice the difference. Notice already the difference. There's no talking over each other. There's no sound from the audience. There's nothing. It is a cold, clinical surgery without any anesthesia. Here it is.
So we've been talking primarily about the women's issues. And one of the things with your husband was that when he was a governor, he was pro-choice. And now is against abortions, except in the case of rape and incest in the life of the mother. I wonder what your views are. Were you the same way when he was a governor? Have you changed? I'm sure you've had discussions about this.
Okay, so the first question here. Abortion. and your husband has flip-flopped. Have you?
Abortion. Wow. We're starting with abortion. Wow. But wait. The dental surgery gets even better.
Let me ask you something to the economic point. Do you think that access to contraception and abortion is an economic issue, as I was saying in the Hot Topics?
Okay. All right.
Question 3.
So, as First Lady, if you get the job, it's going to entail a lot of things. And one of those things is going to be talking to the mothers whose children are coming home in bags, from wars. Now, I believe that
Stop for just a second. Whoopi, you should remove the word bags from your vocabulary. It just makes me think of you and the women there on the couch. Your men are going to be coming home in bags, kind of like us here. She is so horrible. All right, go ahead.
Doesn't allow you to go fight.
No, that's not correct.
Okay, so
we have.
We've already heard this. So now we have the
continues.
Back in 1968, your husband didn't fight in Vietnam.
Yep.
How can you possibly relate to people?
Right.
Okay. Well, I say that because when I read about your husband, what I had read, and maybe you can correct this, is that the reason that he didn't serve in Vietnam was because it was against the religion. That's
okay, so we heard this part at the beginning, and then she continues with the sons.
So when you are facing these mothers whose children have not come back, how will you explain to them that your sons
Okay, I don't think that's going to be a question.
Or will you talk about the missions that they've gone on?
I don't know. Okay. I might handle it the same way Michelle Obama does, whose husband didn't serve.
Okay, hang on just a second. No, I will handle it. I will handle it better than this administration does. We won't have form letters. We won't have form letters. How's that one? I mean, unbelievable. Now, hang on. I'm going to get to gardening here in just a second. Here's the next question.
They're being made by families.
Well, we had a lot of people during the convention who talked about the compassion of your family and the compassion of your husband. We're going to get to you, Josh, because your brother said that I think he said he'd like to take a swipe or a swap or a punch or something. Swing at President. So I want to know how you feel. We all want to know how you feel. So you think you're going to have an easy ride here? Just stay here. We'll be right back.
Wow. Okay, so that's a threat to Josh, who's sitting in the audience, watching his mother. And so she takes a swipe now at him. Now, your brother said he was going to take a swing at the president.
But if you think you're going to have an easy ride,
you're not.
Just wait, because we're coming back more with your mom. I mean,
that is unbelievable.
They're being made by families.
Here's another one.
Well, we had a lot of people during the convention who talked about the compassion of your family.
No, we've already heard that one.
Yeah, we got that.
Give me, what do we...
So here we are.
Ann Romney. So, Ann, we mentioned Josh before is in the audience here. Son who actually has 5 kids of his own, 4 sons, 1 little girl, Grace, right?
Grace.
Adorable. Yeah. I know that there's been some sort of like family intervention in terms of campaign, new stuff that's going on. You're involved. What are those? And then also, do you have aspirations of a political career at all?
Okay, so
they got the one question.
Question 8. Finally, they get to Elizabeth, and she asks, a decent question about his family. And is something that's not...
So 8 questions in on the Inquisition. Now, here's number 9.
The governor actually, I know you've been together, 43 years of marriage. That is exceptional. And a bunch of grandkids, as Barbara mentioned. There was one point, though, I think, that did you guys almost break up?
Well, not according to men.
Okay, so there's number 9. And the final question.
That's what I want to know. And I'm so glad it's only 17, 18, and 19 that your boys are in the selfish stage. Good. Okay, 3 years. But, I heard, Mrs. Romney, that you don't watch any TV. What do you do all day if you don't watch TV?
Okay, so
what do you do all day? That's a slam on women.
Yeah.
What do you do all day if you don't watch TV? Wait a minute. They were the ones who said she never worked for a day in her life. So if you're staying at home, you just have to watch TV because you have nothing else to do. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you just must watch TV all day. My gosh, these women are despicable. They're really despicable. And I say that with first-hand knowledge. I've been on that show before. They are despicable witches. Ooh, did I say that out loud? Let me say it again. Despicable witches.
Yeah.
And this is why the media is going to be so surprised. They look at... Can you imagine trying to pay for the coverage that Obama has had in the last 4 years? Oh. Impossible. You'd never be able to get this kind of coverage. Ever. Look at what they've done. The movies, the television shows, everything has been geared to make him look like a conquering hero, a Roman god, and he's losing.
Yep.
He's losing.